Hello, Juliet and Maggie. This is a review of basically the last 3 weeks of lessons that you've had, your first 3 weeks of pipe lessons. And I'm going to start with the transition from D to E. And the reason I'm starting with that is because we need that to be clean with no crossing sounds before you can do a good scale going up and down the chanter. So just as a reminder, if we're on D here, right, make sure the pinky's on that low hand, these 3 fingers are up, we're going to be going to E, which looks like this, right? And in the process of that transition, we don't want to get a crossing sound. We don't want this. A crossing sound is an unintended note between 2 notes, right? That unintended note in this case is a low G or a low A, depending. We don't want it. Just want to go from D to E. So you may recall in the lesson, to do that transition, we are in D, we lift the E finger up first, then bring these fingers down and the pinky up. So in slow motion, it looks like this. Like that. Similarly, going down from E to D, same idea, we're on E, we're going to lift the D fingers up just a little early, and then bring the E finger down, and we'll never get that crossing sound. We'll get this. So that's what we're looking for. I'm going to do a little exercise, and you can do it with me or just pause the video and do it on your own, of D, E, D, E. And the key here is not to take a breath in between each set. Obviously, you need to take a breath when you need one, but don't just take a breath in between each one. We want to connect them as much as possible. So, ready? 1, 2. If that was too fast or not comfortable to play along with me, go ahead and pause the video and then do it on your own. Okay, now that we worked on the D to E transition, we're ready for the scale, starting from low G up to high A, back down to low G. We'll do it together. Try and stay with me. I'll give you a tempo. 1, 2. All right, if that was uncomfortable to play along with the recording, feel free to pause it. Go ahead and do that on your own. Keep track of your fingering technique on that. Let's do it one more time. Paying attention to all of the transitions in the fingering. Ready? 1, 2. Very good. All right, feel free to pause the video and do as many of those as you need to. Ideally, maybe 2 of those per day would be great. Next, we go on to the Siren exercises, as I like to call them. This was at the bottom of your intro page that we wrote on in class. And what we're going to do is 4 sets of low A to E. So low A, E, low A, E, low A, E, low A, E. So 4 of those. And then we're going to do low A, F, low A, F, low A, F, low F. So 4 of each. All right, we'll start. We'll give a tempo, and 1, 2. All right, you don't have to play it that slowly all the time. This is a great time for you to pause the video and play it on your own, challenging yourself on how fast you can actually play those transitions. That's something to have fun with on your own. The next topic was the G, D, E triplets. And I believe on your music, we have it as G, D, E triplet on low G, and then another G, D, E triplet on low G, and then we do G, D, E triplet on low A, G, D, E triplet on low A. All right, so one of the things we didn't talk about in class is transitioning between those. That is, after we've done the G, D triplets on low G, then we switch over. So I'm going to take a break in between those, and I'm going to play 4 G, D, E triplets on low G. All right, first without a metronome. Ready? 1, 2. Now with low A. 1, 2. Okay, now we're going to do it with the metronome. Ready? All right, I did that on low A. Now let's do it on low G, same thing. And, ready? And, right. So that's certainly an exercise in copying and staying together with the recording. Now what I would like you to do is pause the video and challenge yourself to play G, D, E triplets on either note, low A or low G, and speed it up until you make a mistake. And then once you make a mistake, stop, go to the beginning, and then start from slow and speed it up again. See how fast you can play them accurately. All right, the last thing we talked about, which was the most recent, the new topic, basically, that you learned this week, was G-gracenotes in a scale, right? And we did the first 4 notes, low G, low A, B, and C, and that's where we stopped. And the key with a G-gracenote scale, it's on page 74 of what I call the green book, which is behind that green page in your binder notes, right? So you want to get to page 74. Is if you look at the music, the first note that is in the line is a high G, but it's a high G grace note. So, and we know that we're going to low G. The melody note that we want to go to is low G because it's the first note of the scale. So we put our fingers in the low G position, maybe check it, make sure everything's covered, right? Always do a little check, okay? And then you say, all right, I'm going to lift my G grace note finger because that's the first sound I need to make. And I'm going to blow with that finger up and then bring it down like this. Again. Again. So that's the idea of a G grace note, the first one of the scale. Right? Once we're there, we're on the low G. And if you look at the music, what is the next note that we sound? It's another high G grace note, right? But our destination note, our theme note, is now low A, right? So we're from G, we just played it, and we're gonna go. Did you see that? I lifted both the pinky finger here and the pointer finger here to get ready for landing on low A, like this. Let's try that again. So that's what we're trying to do to go from low G to low A. Now we're on low A, and we're going to go to B. Same principle. We're on low A. We're going to lift the B finger and the high G grace note finger, and then drop the high G grace note finger when we're ready, like this. Right, that gets us to B. Now we're on B, we have to go to C. It's a little tricky because we have to bring our pinky down for C, right? So there's a little more preparation to do in this transition, right? We're on B, we're gonna lift the high G grace note, get our fingers in the C position, drop the G finger, like this. Okay, that one's a little tricky. You might need to pause the video, play it on your own, that's fine. The goal, once you've done those individually, is to play them in a row, like this. Okay, do that again from the side. I'm starting in this position, getting ready for the G-gracenote on low G. Again. Feel free to do that on your own if it's not comfortable playing with the recording. Great job. Have fun.